All right, I'm kicking off another episode of Zen and Callsigns, and we got my next guest, Anatoly Spektor. Pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't usually do podcasts, but I mean, sir, honor is mine.
Oh, thank you. Well, appreciate you taking the time. So as we usually start, we just kick it off right off, and handing it over to you, starting with Anatoly, young Anatoly
Yeah.
in Latvia, about 18. So tell us a little bit about like what you're doing, what you're thinking at that time, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I was a bit lost when I was growing up because, I mean, Latvia is a post-Soviet country, Eastern Europe. It's not like Canada where I moved later, where it's like land of opportunity, you can do anything. Latvia is a little more closed down
Yep.
country. So, yeah, going to university from school, I did not really go to school a lot. I was mostly like partying and stuff.
Yeah.
And then university, I didn't know where to go. So,
So would you,
yeah.
when you're 18, when you're like going to like, what'd you want to do? Like, was there some plan at like kind of, hey, left the house or went to university?
Absolutely no plan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. My dad is an entrepreneur all his life.
Yeah.
He was doing very well. My mom is. I mean, now she's mostly at house in
Sure.
the house, but she was entrepreneur as well, running different shops. I didn't know what I want to do. Probably want to do something like my parents. In Latvia, there's not a lot of choices.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be interested in computers, so I would sit and play games or write some programs on websites, but it was never in Latvia considered a good profession at that age, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like, it was more nerdy thing that nerdy people do.
Did you start doing that in high school or in college? Kind of
I
the
got
programming side.
I got my first computer when I probably was like 6 years old because my dad loved computers. I did not really like playing video games that much, so mostly I would just surf the internet, sit in chats, write some bots just for fun. And I never thought that it would ever be my career. So, because I want to be cool, and being cool is in Latvia being a lawyer or entrepreneur.
What was your first programming language that you learned?
Probably some bash scripting, which
Okay.
is Unix kind of writing some programs to... I was writing this internet relay chat, if you know.
Yes.
There was like a chatting system. I was writing bots for it,
Yeah.
just for fun. And you just type some command, they do some stuff. Now they have Slack for it, like
Yeah.
very, very similar. But it was never something that I thought I would ever do.
Yeah.
The torrent trackers were popular. I remember I met a guy who was running one, and I was helping promote his torrent tracker, and we were making a bit of money. But it was all just fun and
Yeah.
games, selling stuff on eBay, all fun
Yeah.
and games.
Do you think, just even hearing you talk about writing bots, like 30 years, how long ago is that? What's your
Long
thought
ago.
on like the dead intern theory? Are you familiar with that theory? That most of the internet is controlled by bots?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. There was a study that most of Twitter accounts are fake. Like, that's
Yeah.
why Elon Musk, he wanted to buy it.
Right.
But then he saw that most of the accounts are fake, and he was trying to get out of it, but then
Yeah.
he did not.
Yeah.
I truly believe in that, yes.
Yes.
I mean, trading is done by algorithms.
Yeah.
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 Once you figure out how to automate something, you just want to do it. And now with AI, it's going to be
Oh, yeah.
next level.
Exactly.
100%. Yes, I didn't know, so I went to management school. That was an interesting, just to learn, I guess, management. It was a weird school because people teach you entrepreneurship who never run businesses.
Right.
Always very, very strange. And then in 2008, which I think I was 20 years old, the crisis came, and in Latvia it was crazy. So for the US
Yeah.
it was bad. Latvia is very hedged towards West, so it just completely
Yeah.
destroyed the economy. And then I was like, I had an aunt living in Canada, so I asked my dad, I'm like, I don't know what to do, maybe I just go to Canada. And he was like, yeah, just go to Canada. So I went to Canada just by myself. Left. I had a girlfriend at the time, which became later my wife.
Yeah.
So I left everything, my parents, and I just went to Canada. Bless you. That was kind of hard when you are alone in
Yeah.
a country. I didn't speak language very well, not like I do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, English is definitely not my first language, as you might hear that. And then I went to University of Toronto. I went to Toronto to study also management. But I was so bad. I was like partying every day. I was partying in university in Latvia. I was partying in Canada because I didn't know what I want to do. I'm like, I didn't understand why I'm there. I didn't enjoy any of this. Now I do love it, love business and all this kind of stuff, management. But at that point, it was very strange. And I was at the party once, and there was this successful guy, friend of my cousin, and he's like, "What do you do?" And I was very proud. I was like, "I'm studying management." And he asked me a question that actually changed everything. He's like, "So who are you going to manage?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" "I'm just going to manage people." He's like, "You know how managers are done in companies? You are a great employee, you understand the systems, and they promote you to be a manager. Nobody's hiring dude from university to manage people.
Yeah.
It just never happens." And I never knew that.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Seriously?"
Wow.
He's like, "Yeah." And at that point, then I quit. I actually decided not to do management anymore because I'm like, he's right. What am I doing? And then the first time I kind of consciously realized that I need to make some decisions, because before I didn't make any decisions. I just didn't care. And I was like, what do I like to do? Because in university, they also wanted to kick me out because I was so bad. They were like, the only thing you can go to is criminology. I'm like, what is that? They're like, well, you'll find out. I'm like, I don't want to find out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to study software development because I like. I mean,
Yep.
it's
You've
easy
been
for
doing
me.
it, though.
Yeah, it's just easy for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And not something that I wanted to do, but I can just figure myself out. So I was the worst student in Latvia. They almost kicked me out. But then you can kind of figure out your way with cheating, I'm not proud of,
Yeah.
to pass the exam. But I always would be like on a line.
Yes.
So every
Yeah.
time I would retake them many, many times to just be on the line. In the University of Toronto, you cannot cheat. So I would just be the worst student out there. And then I decided to go to college because they actually do programming. Because in the University of Toronto, you
Right.
just study programming, which is weird to me. I'm like, let me just program.
Right.
But you don't program until like 3 years in. And I'm like, this is so strange. So I went to Seneca College, which is a cool college in Toronto.
Yeah.
My dad didn't like it at all because in his mind, he's very traditional, was you need to go to university, get a bachelor degree.
Right.
But I'm like, trust me, it's
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
need to do something.
Exactly.
And I became so good. It was so natural to me that I could just do it better than anybody else. I didn't put a lot of effort. I loved it, so I did it, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But in 6 months, I was working as an intern in Red Hat, which is a Linux distribution, one of the biggest companies in the world that do OS for like big corporations. Servers, a lot of servers are run on Red Hat Linux. And they took me as intern, and then they paid me lots of money. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. And then they left me as a contractor to continue working with them until I finished my studies,
Yeah.
paying me
It's a good
a
deal.
lot of money, I feel
Yeah.
like $20 or $25 an hour, to being in the first like year of college.
Yeah.
And I finished best in my class with like highest GPA, which was crazy. And I mean, it was easy.
Yeah.
And then I was hired by a startup. The guy who actually ran the startup now is part of my community of entrepreneurs, which is funny. So now I'm helping him, or we help
Well,
each other.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he was like this crazy genius running this CRM software to run Pan American Games, which is like Olympics Games in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working for him. Then he made me run his teams. So I ran his teams. It was very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then that was kind of easy. Then I went to Vancouver for fun. But this company, the Pan American Games were finishing. I could see that they're not getting funded. So like, let me look outside. So while I'm in Vancouver, I applied for a few places. And one of them invited me to interview. So I went to this company, very hip company. They were doing charitable donations. And then they hired me on the spot. They're like, you need to move to Vancouver. They paid me more than I asked for. They said, we're going to relocate you wherever you want. So I went back from Vancouver. In like 2 months, I moved to Vancouver with, at that point, my wife, because I found work. Then she moved to Toronto. We got married, and then we moved to Vancouver.
How old were you at this time?
Probably 24,
Okay.
25.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we lived in Vancouver. Beautiful place. I don't know if somebody been to. You've been to Vancouver?
Yeah.
So I lived next to Stanley Park, which is a beautiful
Yep.
park. I started running around Stanley Park. The work was very easy. If you want to go for a run during the day, you just go.
Yeah.
They have those beer Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, whatever. Lots of cool people. Yeah, and
So was that seems like the kind of guy that you met at the party, that was like an inflection point.
Big
for you,
inflection point.
where seemed like an innocuous conversation where it wasn't that, crazy. He wasn't like some life coach. It was like, did you think about this?
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
like,
Exactly.
wow.
Simple questions, yeah. So
Interesting.
if you're watching this, thank you.
yeah.
I
So,
don't even
but
remember.
that sounds interesting. It's like you can't ever anticipate what is going to come or change your mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've heard other things before, and you're like, doesn't matter. But yet this one,
Crazy.
where you had, like, how did he sway it? Like, what was it that his clout or his intelligence or his thought did it for you?
He was just cocky dude at the club.
Oh.
But I'm like,
Interesting.
and it was a little bit of like, he tried to offend me to some degree. So it's more like,
wow.
I was this young punk coming from Latvia and showing off, and he was there just trying to put me to my place, which rightfully so, because I was very show-offy when I was growing up, because this is the only way how I was trying to blend in.
I see.
And thank you to him.
Yeah.
He did it in his way, but it definitely changed the trajectory of my life.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then I found that when you do the right thing, things come easy.
Right.
So that's what I try to search now. I mean, I'm fine doing hard work, but then it should kind of flow.
Yep.
It's like more like a river than standing next to a waterfall and not knowing where to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you moved to Vancouver, badass job there.
Yeah.
And so you're 24, and what year is this, or just for timeline-wise?
Something like 2014, maybe.
Okay,
2015. All right. And then I'm running around the Stanley Park. I actually fell in love with running.
Yep.
I wasn't that sporty before, but those runs kind of calm me down. I have ADHD. I think I have so many things in my head. That's why I can run many, many projects and help a lot of people just because I'm easy to switch contexts. But in terms of like working on one thing, it's kind of hard.
Yep.
So I became really good at this job. They really liked me and they kept me, and we grew a lot in this company. I think 10x this company with the development team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I run around the Stanley Park, and at one point I'm like, maybe I should run a marathon. I don't know why, because everybody in Vancouver, I guess, run.
Yeah.
So I signed up for a marathon. I completed that marathon. Then I was like, oh, that's cool. I like the feeling. I should do one more. So I did one more in like 3 months. Then I did one more in 3 months. So I did one more. So I'm like, these marathons are getting easier.
Oh.
I should sign up for a triathlon.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to do Ironman. Because at some point, probably like 5 years before, I was watching it on TV, and I'm like, this is impossible. Who the hell does it? Can I swear here? Is that swear?
Yeah, oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Who the fuck does it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is crazy. And I didn't know how to bike or swim. Like it was, I mean, I could swim, but not swim.
Yeah.
Like if you know what I mean. Not triathlon swim.
Yeah.
4 kilometer swim, no.
Yeah.
But there was the first time when I'm like, I just need to have a plan. So I hired a coach. He was training me for 6 months for this crazy event.
Yeah.
I was swimming every day. I was biking. I think I spent about 30 hours a week just training for this. And then at the end...
30 hours a week?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you start slower, but then because Ironman is like 15 hours race, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So you have to do more and more and more. And at the end, it was like 30 hours. You have to bike for like 200 kilometers. Crazy. And then run a marathon.
Yeah.
Running was fine, but biking was very scary because I
Yeah.
didn't know how to bike with a very thin tires.
Yeah.
Crazy, very fast. But I completed it. I was
Nice.
like, wow, I can do impossible things.
Yes.
This is another inflection point where I thought, wow, thing that I thought is impossible is actually possible
Yep.
if you just put a plan in place. And then this company that I work with started to change management, and I didn't see eye to what they were going. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to quit. I didn't know what I'm going to do, but I just quit. And then I realized writing code, every time writing code was not hard, I can do it. But managing people around doing the code and working in a good environment to get stuff done is very hard.
Yep.
So it's the hardest thing. And then I started already doing that in this company, like helping people to arrange them to run. And then I did that with this crazy he's not crazy. He's a great genius entrepreneur I worked with before. He's crazy in a good way. When I say things crazy, I mean people like myself, like people who are a little bit crazy and have big dreams.
Yep.
And then I started a consultancy where I would go to companies and I would help them to run their teams properly. And I got a contract with a big telco, like one of the biggest telcos in the world, and in Canada, I think like 5,000 people, like big one. And yeah, I helped them. They went for restructuring, people left, and me and a few other people helped to keep it together.
Yep.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then I started doing a YouTube channel. It was my first content creation where I was using certain tools to do it. And I was
When was this?
Also around 2016, maybe 17.
Yeah.
So I was writing, using certain tools, project management tools, and it was hard to do. So I was creating videos how I do it. And this channel became pretty popular. So I started getting clients helping me, asking me to set up those tools.
Yep.
And then when I set up the tool, I also helped them for their team to use it properly.
Yep.
And I would get calls from like governments calling me to help their teams and other big companies to help them. So it was cool. From like 7,000 subscribers, I got huge contracts.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, but what else? What's next? So I really wanted to travel. That was a big dream, just to live.
Yeah.
And I needed some work. So I found this company in remote work to do some development. And I would just work remotely for them. And then at some point I tell them, you know what, I want to travel. So can I just do your work remotely? So I was running multiple businesses at that time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I was interested in running a business.
Yep.
So this consultancy, for some reason, never appeared to me to be like a business. I wanted passive income. And once you try passive income, you learn there's no such thing as passive income. But I was like, well, what should I do? And then I met the guy that was running with Stanley Park. He was like, well, let's try dropshipping. It was, now everybody knows what dropshipping, but in like 2017, nobody knew what it is.
Right.
So we started, which was very strange. We got some course, and they're like, you need to sell something that is expensive. And we started with storage sheds. You know, sheds you put in your...
like they're in packs, and you get them, and you have to build them.
Yeah. Which was the worst product you can imagine. Because I didn't know.
It was huge and cost a lot to ship.
But also you need to know how to assemble them, which I never thought I need to know.
Yeah.
So we found a few companies. We asked them, can we carry your product? And then you just ship it to people. Then we ran some ads to our Shopify store.
Yep.
Nobody would buy, but then few people would buy, and then they would call me, and they're like, I have this boat. Can this boat fit in this shed? Like, I have no idea.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and then it all kind of went south because it doesn't work because I can't do it. But then Amazon came, like people were selling on Amazon. So I started selling products on Amazon, which was also a hard road to do. I started with the wrong product, and I get better and better and better. At some point, it was good. I was building brands that were kind of passive. I was running teams to do it while I was doing this consultancy, and I was doing this job, remote job.
Yep.
And at that point, I was like, we should go travel. That's what I told my wife. I had a 5-month-old kid. They were just born, and I was like, if we don't do it now, when are we going to do it?
Yeah.
So we packed everything, put it in storage, and then we left Canada. It was 2018, I think, or 18. And then we traveled around. We lived in France, in Spain, in Portugal, and back to Latvia. And at one point, COVID hit. So that was a wild times.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, we traveled as well, because the beginning of the COVID, you still can go, was beautiful. We lived in Hungary. There was nobody there. Portugal, empty, no tourists, was beautiful. Then we went to Latvia, and then we're planning to go to Bali. And as soon as we came to Latvia, they closed the border, and it was winter. That was like 5 months. You need to just stay there, which I actually didn't want to, because I left Latvia because I wanted to try more, and then I'm stuck in this place with a little baby. The work, this remote work, they said, you know what, we're in trouble now, so they cut my hours. My Amazon business was not going well because I like some shipping issues, because it was hard to ship. China was like overflowing with e-commerce. Everything was going really, really down. And I was like, I think I need to rebuild the network. So I need to find how to get amazing people to share information with me.
Yep.
And that's why I started podcasting.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm just going to do a podcast. Podcast wasn't popular. I had to explain what is podcast to people at that point. Now you don't have to.
No.
But like 5 years ago, you're like, podcast is this thing. You come, we talk. They're like, oh, you can do that? And it's going to be on the radio or TV. I'm like, it's going to be on the internet. So I started finding these amazing people who are way better than me, and for some reason they gave me a chance to talk to them, and I was just interviewing them and asking them questions. So it's about Amazon. I started asking those Amazon sellers better than me, and I built an amazing network of Amazon sellers, which helped me to my brands to survive, actually.
Yeah.
They were never doing as well as I wanted them to do, but at least I had big network of people who were supporting me now.
Yeah.
I did about 400 episodes of this podcast. I was also documenting my journey. Some of them were just me talking to a camera, how I grow it, what issues I have, and some of them interviewing amazing people. Yeah, so I was a podcaster now, a software developer, consultant, entrepreneur, everything. Was going well.
Good.
And then at some point, Latvia opened up. We went to Spain. They closed Spain. And then we came to Bali.
What... Many people have different synchronicities, or Bali calls you or something like that. What was it for you?
Yeah. Shout out to my friend Alex Hoodie, who got me to Bali. So I met this guy in a conference of Amazon, and he's traveling around the world for many years, living in different places. And he was on a podcast with me a few times. But the last time I was in Portugal, we talk, and I'm like, well, I don't know where to go. My wife is pregnant with a second kid, and she needs to give birth, and it's COVID. Where would you go? He's like, the only place I would go is Bali.
Yeah.
Then we checked, Bali's closed, but he's a very connected guy. He helped me to figure out the ways how to get to Bali. I'm not going to disclose any of this here. Thank you, Alex Hoodie. And that was a reason to give birth for 6 months to go to Bali and then go back.
Yeah.
And then it's been 5 years.
Yeah. Was there anything else? Was just like your buddy was like recommended this type, but did he anything else that brought you here or thought about? Because I'm assuming you like looked at Bali, research.
I looked at Bali. It seems like it's a nice place. A lot of people in the Amazon community lived here, and everybody loved it. But I trusted this guy. Yeah. I understand that if I just sometimes need to blindly trust. If people say do something, it's the right thing, just try it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
I mean, I can just go back.
Yeah.
But the best can happen, I can stay in a nice place and do a podcast with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And then I started here. Amazon was not going very well. I was not really connected to it that much. So I decided to stop it. I sold my brand last year, my last Amazon brand. And I was still doing this consulting. And I had a big government client that still was paying my bills. And this software company also was supporting me very nicely. I was doing software for them for many years now. I still do a little bit of it because it's getting less and less, but thankfully it's still there. Yeah, I really enjoy doing it. And so at one point, I remember another inflection point, if we were talking in those words. I was sitting at night in my villa in Bali in my shorts, like very late, and I was like sleepy. And then I'm on this conference call with this government agency, probably 20 people in the suits, and they're asking me what to do with their teams, and I'm telling them, and they all are writing it down. So they have like paper and pen, and they write down what I say, even though it's a Zoom call, like I just record it. I'm like, this is so strange. I don't belong here. I'm like, I had this feeling of not belonging. I never meet these people. We never go for coffee with these people. We'll never see each other anywhere outside of this weird coincidence of me having something they need. And it's like, I just don't want to do that anymore. Like, it pays me, pays my bills, but I can't live like that. It's unauthentic. Yeah. Because I just don't care. I mean, I like helping them, but the outcome, I just don't care. They're just there to make money. I'm going to help them. They're going to make more money, and that's it. But for me, I feel like betrayed. There's nothing comes back to me that will fulfill me apart from a good paycheck that I probably can make this money other way. So then I met at that point, I also realized that just making money is a weird pursuit, because I started meeting amazing people in Bali, as you know, and they all have this interesting ideas. They were doing some cool stuff. And I'm like, I just talk to business people, Amazon people, or government institutions. I want to learn more about spirituality, about conspiracy theories, about like anything, about the soul. Like there needs to be more to life than just grinding. And I was grinding for a long, long time. So I started interviewing and putting those episodes in my podcast about just chatting about people's lives and the trauma and their experiences. And then it's slowly the Amazon podcast kind of waved out. And then I started the podcast, what we have now, Soul to Soul, where I interview people from all walks of life, just figuring out what is it drives them, and I can learn from them and hopefully expand my horizon. And then on the business side, I was like, well, what I don't like? And I went to retreat. In the retreat, I met this woman, Sandra, which you know. And then she helps people realize, okay, so what is driving you? So she's really good at that. She can ask you questions, face forward. She'll be like, you know what, this is all bullshit. You're just lying to yourself. So she did that with me. We did a session, which I think we did similar session to you once you were in one of our boot camps. And I realized I have to close my consultancy. And then I thought more about it, that I just love what I do, helping businesses grow and scale with IT, with my skills in e-commerce and advertising, everything. But I just work with the wrong people. I want to help people I really care about.
Right.
So the outcome is I help friends or somebody that's doing amazing things, and I feel accomplished by their success. And then me and Sandra decided, I was like, Sandra, why don't you move to Bali? She was living in Germany. She moved to Bali, and we started what was called Soul to Soul Business, and now it's called Rubik's Cube, helping people with passion to grow and scale their businesses, but from a perspective of we like you, you like us, we want to work together, and we're all invested in what we do. Yeah. And it's been great. We've been helping, right now, 150 entrepreneurs went through what we did. Now we're working with really big companies, helping them making amazing change in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been there and done that, and just so everybody knows, it was transformational for me. So I kind of thought I had all the ideas and stuff, but the best thing both of you, and then the whole group too, did for me was to, Blake, you're not thinking big enough. And I'm like, well, shit, I thought I was. Like, but all right. Like, I mean, you know, because I feel like you want to be conservative or whatever that is, and that's probably like some ego thing, but also just like, oh, don't be too audacious. Or but I typically am. But then that really just. Okay.
Well, your growth is spectacular.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
very happy to see where you're going.
Well, thank
and
you.
your mission is great. So
yeah. I mean, you have one, like, just so you know, he has one of these, but it's neon pink and white.
Yeah.
So, so cool. So I think we're right now. We're right now. So we're right now, kind of here, present moment. So yeah, that's an interesting story in life. One thing that comes to mind from what you're mentioning is, you know, you've iterated a lot, and I think a lot of people think that it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna pick a thing and do it. And it's like, well, no, you did like 50 things, or just boop boop boop, you know, just kept iterating. How'd you keep it going when things failed and stuff didn't work out? And this goes into one of the questions I ask everybody, and I think it's kind of prudent to ask you now. It's like, what's your philosophical operating system? And because that goes into how you do things, and it's where did that come from? How would you describe that?
I like how Alex Hormozy says that there is a thing called push and pivot. You need to know where you need to push and when you need to pivot. It's very important to understand, because sometimes when things get hard, you want to pivot. I did it many, many times. If I would stick to one thing, I would probably be extremely successful in any of those things. Yeah. So I think I pivoted too much, and now I'm learning more that sometimes you just have to push through to get to where you want to go. Yeah. But also, if the process itself makes it just such a grudge that you don't see yourself doing it, I think it may be time to pivot. So in Amazon, I just never used the products I was selling. I would never connect. Like I was selling supplements for women who want to get pregnant. And I'm like, I cannot relate. I know why they're buying it, so I'm really good at figuring out what drives people. But why don't I use the same skill And I don't pivot like to something completely different, but I can use the skill of me understanding psychology and how to attract people, but do it in a way that aligns with my values. And I like to move fast, but I also like deep connection and authenticity. And I think authenticity was missing. And in Amazon world, it's missing a lot because, well, you're working with a giant company where you send them products and then you shuffle things around so it becomes number one, and then people buy. So it's, if you don't really care about the product you build, you'll never get to level authenticity where you look at somebody's eyes and you fully committed because it's a real person on the other side. And if I don't do what I need to do, they might fail. And their families might fail, their teams might fail. So there's a lot on the line. And for me, I think my philosophy is find where you can get involved emotionally to a degree where you feel that it's your responsibility on many, many levels, and also hedge a risk. So I try to make sure that the thing that I advise is not so risky that it can completely destroy your business. So we try to find the small leverages we can pull that can bring you forward.
Yeah.
So I don't like thinking like, okay, I'm going to work with you and we're just going to start from scratch. Like take everything away. Sometimes we do that, but mostly when people have no idea what they want to do. When people have something, we try to find leverage, how we can do small changes that bring you to a big results.
Yeah. Well, hammering down on that specifically for you of like what forms your thought process of either, you know, your religion, your philosophy, like what's, if I hammer down specifically to you, like how do you think of it?
Help me out.
So I could say for me is that I have I have this little some litanies in my mind that I goes like I operate with love and compassion, but I'm always ready to kill a motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
And so like you know where it's like I lead with that just like but way in the back because I don't really need that almost ever.
Yeah.
But those are kind of how I try to do things.
Yeah. So then my philosophy in this scenario is I work with real people now that I care about. So I lead with care. I'm ready to go all in. So if I work with you and I see that there's no authenticity and we're playing games, everybody knows that if I see that something is unauthentic, I'll just cut it.
Yep.
And I'll be, even if it costs me lots of money, and I did many times, I'll just say, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. And then I can just cut it.
Yep.
So I kill a motherfucker in a different way, which means like I'm all in, but if you're not all in,
I'm out.
Then I'm out.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. And I did a lot of things that people might think stupid, where I would just forgive people that steal from me, but I say, take everything that you have, but I'll never see you again. I'm not going to sue you, I just don't want to see you. Or sometimes I just meet somebody and they have an amazing idea and I go full in, and then it just, that's all I do. But it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just the way I am.
I like
all
it.
Or nothing.
Yeah, I like it. Kind of all right, going on to some other things here. So can you give me a vanity metric you chased or regret?
Well, there's so many.
What comes to mind?
Yeah. I mean, I would chase views on social media channels. I would chase some clout. I would chase money for money's sake.
Yeah.
Any vanity metric you can imagine, I tried chasing. So, yeah, I would chase, some weird shit. I mean, none of them are bad putting into the right context.
Yeah.
But I find that I didn't put them in the right context. I'm like, well, I need to make 10 million in my Amazon revenue. Never asking why and what is on the other side. Like, will I be happy? How does it change?
Yeah.
And if I do what it takes, will I be a better person? And the answer at some point was no, because I was becoming greedy and I was trying to game the game, if you know what I mean. Try to play games that are just not authentic and unnecessary.
Yeah. What would you find? Because I think this is interesting question for you because it's In your eyes, what's the difference between luck and skill?
Pretty simple. Skill, you just do things over and over again and you become better. The people get lucky, skilled people who do hard work become lucky more.
Yeah.
So if you want to get lucky, just gain skill. Because it's way easier when you have a lot of skills when opportunity comes to get lucky.
Yeah.
And if you don't do the work, you don't expose yourself, it's very hard to get lucky. Like there's no way that you're, even, let's say some people invest in some weird shit and then get rich. But if you did not invest and you didn't risk, there's no way you'll do it.
Right.
So, and if you're more skillful, you will invest in the better thing that you have better chance to get lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I tend more into skill. I do believe that there's luck there. Like if you were, when I was on Amazon, if you would do what I do now, you probably will not succeed. So the timing, finding the right opportunity, that luck or not, I don't know. I guess I met the right person. Finding this guy in a party was that the luck that told me not to be in a management, probably.
Yeah.
But it takes skill to ride on this luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else that came to mind was, the amount of times you've iterated, and then you're, from the podcast and doing everything, and I like that, and I'm similar in that way. I like, just everywhere, everything, all at once.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. Where I think a lot of people think that it's just one thing. How would you maybe tell somebody, how you do things, in the sense of like, well, I never got down when it didn't work out, or I did, but then I was able to have some equanimity and bounce back. So how would you describe that?
Yeah, I failed in most ways that people can fail. I got bad partnerships, people steal from me, people sue me, whatever you can think, I went through. So I believe that it's okay when things are hard.
Yeah.
So we try to escape the hardness. But if you're an entrepreneur, life is hard, period. There's always a fire. There's no, this is the rules of the game. So you need to adjust and say, if I want to go this route, it's going to be hard. So to me, it's just a game I play. And the game I play, the higher I climb, the harder it is. So now I can stay at this level, and it's going to be hard. I can go down. I can go work for somebody else now. It's going to be easier. But my mind, I like to chase that hard because that makes me grow. So for anybody who is listening, it's going to be hard. And there's nothing wrong in it. So people say, okay, all those things happen. Something must be wrong with me, with my business. No, it's just hard. Doing something and competing with many other people, and especially doing things authentically from your own place, it's just hard. People hate me in comments. Everything is hard. You try to do something nice, somebody will shit on it.
Yeah.
But that is fine. So you have to create, you have to treat it as part of the game. This is the rules. And to get to the next level, I just have to be fine with hard.
Yep.
The more you fine with hard, the better you're going to perform.
Yeah. How would you see, so since you've worked for a lot of people, as a consultant, kind of doing a little bit of everything in programming. So if a client misses, who owns the failure? If you're there to make them succeed in a way.
Yeah. It really depends. I mean, I take responsibility for my work. Like if you tell me that you want to sell more T-shirts, and we create a plan, and you follow the plan, and the plan fails, well, it's on me. What happens most of the time is we have a plan, and then at some point you get scared because business is hard, and then you try to do something else, and then you blame me. Part of it is my responsibility because I need to steer and say, Blake, we decided one thing, you're doing the other thing, so I need to communicate it better. But in general, I take responsibility for everything I do, but I don't take responsibility for the action you take. Like as a consultant, for example, like a programmer and a consultant will be different. As a consultant, I show you the doors. You can choose the doors, and I'm going to walk you with that door. But if you're going to walk on your own and tell me that you walk with me, nothing I can do.
Yep.
As a programmer, if there is something that I need to deliver and don't deliver, it's completely on me, assuming again that you walk with me.
Yep.
So it's like a dance. Like if we fail in in a dancing competition. Whose fault it is? Well, probably both. So I take responsibility, but I cannot take responsibility for other people's actions.
Yeah.
I just can't.
And from your experience, what would be your biggest failure?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. But then I don't kind of feel bad about any of them. I had somebody just didn't deliver, and I put a lot of my savings into one of the businesses, and somebody's supposed to manufacture something, they did not, and then they just said, goodbye, and I just didn't get anything.
What'd you learn from that, or what'd you take away from that?
The biggest takeaway was like that it happens, and I just forgave the person. I didn't sue the person. I just said I moved on. But I think early on, if I would just go with what drives me and not try to please others, I think it goes back to my childhood. My parents divorced when I was young, and I kind of got this thinking of if I just go big and I would show off, then I would bring my dad love back, which is, my dad loved me. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But like there was something subconscious that drove me to just not be authentic, but just try to go where I can find some hacks or things like that, and just don't commit fully. So I think one of the biggest failures is not committing fully early enough and just go with it. I would be way further down the road, but then would I know what I know now? Who knows?
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, I think I feel like you can't have success without failures.
yeah.
Because and that's the thing of overnight success, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody is that way.
Yeah. I'm still way long road ahead to where I need to get, but I'm getting more and more aligned with where I'm going, which is great.
Yeah. What? So I feel like this is, I'm kind of going down on the bottom of my list here, but I want to talk about is AI.
Okay.
So
let's go.
Where do you see AI? How do you see it in your business right now? Tell me what you're doing and kind of give me some ideas, background.
Yeah. So our main business is helping other businesses scale. So definitely AI is one of the main factors here.
Yeah.
So we figure out what could be places where AI can step in and be more efficient. Right now, a lot of research that companies are doing, we make AI agents to help do that. I use it in my personal life as well. I used to have a virtual assistant. Now I have an AI agent helping me with many different things. We're putting AI on the podcast as well. So a lot of research that people used to do, now AI does it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I integrate it a lot. I use it all the time. I use it as a sparring partner, creating ideas.
That's a really interesting one, sparring partner.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't get that. And I was just in the States for about 2 months, and just chatting with people and kind of telling people I'm going back to school, and just chatting with people about how much they use AI, and they're just, most people that I found, maybe some more here because they're a little bit more entrepreneurial, a little younger, thoughtful in that sense, but in the States, they are just put in an email and hey, help me correct this email.
Really?
Wow. Not from what I could tell of where, because you're getting into the kind of upper level, I think is a sparring partner.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you use it in that sense.
Well, I fucked up my disc 2 days ago, so I could not walk. So yesterday I was talking to AI. I'm like, okay, so how do I know what's happened? They're like, okay, do this 3 exercises, and if this is exercise and this is if you feel pain here, this is a problem. So I did those exercises, and it showed me where the pain needs to go. So I realized exactly what the problem is.
Yeah.
And it gave me 3 exercises to do to get rid of the problem. I started doing that, and today I can walk. I didn't go to a doctor, but I was able to self-diagnose. I know exactly where it is. I know exactly what I need to do. And this is just a small subset, but I do it with everything. Like finances, I'm like, okay, financial planning. I show it my finances. It shows me where I need to cut or what I need to add. Lead generation, we run some ads. It shows me, okay, it not necessarily create me a copy for the ad, which we do, but not so good. But most here's the data we gathered. So I feed some people who are really good at creating ads. We transcribe their videos. We send it to ChatGPT as a knowledge base or any other agents.
Yep.
And then we say, what would these people do in this scenario? And then the AI becomes that collective of these professionals, and then it helps me to make decisions.
Yep.
Which is the best you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do it. So find who you admire, parse their content, get it to AI, and then AI can become a coach like that person to you.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I
Yeah.
can't even. I mean, I think the most telling, just little quick blurb. So my daughter was in the hospital here.
Okay.
And like was hospitalized for 40 days here, and then we had to medevac her to Bangkok.
Wow.
Oh, see? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, AI just.
Listening to it.
And we're here in Bali, and they couldn't figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nobody could, neurologist, anybody, infectious disease. And so I'm like, okay, I got it now. And so ChatGPT and me became Dr. Blake,
Yeah.
MD. And then I directed the care. I was literally telling them what to
Yep.
do. I passed back to I had some doctor, family anesthesiologist that were like, hey, just sanity check me. But I directed the care from Bali all the way to Bangkok.
Yeah.
I just gave everybody the synopsis and everything, and they're like, oh my God, what, because again, we got to Bangkok, and it's like all the reports are in Indonesian, and they're Thai, so wild. How we were able to figure it out and solve things where the doctors here couldn't, and it was incredibly game-changing. And I think that again, same thing, but that's just still scratching the surface.
Scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great, but it's not as great as people think. So a lot of people think it's going to replace humans right away.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
There's I think however many months ago I heard somebody's like, AIs it's hallucinating and giving you, and I'm like, I never thought hallucinating, because I'm sure you put in prompts and it gives you some bullshit back, and you're like, I'm like, that's not hallucinating. It's just garbage in, garbage out, and they just want to give it a fancy name or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what I've done recently. Maybe where I'm throwing in philosophical ideas and kind of shaping it in a way where and then I ask it to straw man and steel man that argument.
Beautiful.
So I can see exactly what it's saying on each side of it to see if it's makes sense or if it's just whipping out some bullshit. But I think that sparring is really interesting that people should do.
100%.
For their own psyche.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so
It can be a therapist. I do it with coding. So now I'm way more efficient. Again, if you go really deep down the rabbit hole where you're like, okay, fix more. At one point it breaks.
Right.
For now.
Yeah.
And GPT-5 is way better than GPT-4. So you can see a huge progress there. But, I mean, in 1 year, it's not going to be an issue at all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just seen it even update just today. I have the normal version, ChatGPT, and I was like, hey, can you look through? I was looking through my email. I was like, hey, can you see within this chat or a project if I sent because I would either PDF or cut and paste, and it was like, no, we don't have anything. But then it just popped up. Would you like to link to your Gmail within the chat? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
And so I'm like, yes, that's. But again, it's again, the agent mode is kind of either just it's slowly getting better and better. And I was chatting before we got in here about how it was referencing my original thoughts as reference and bibliography for itself, where you're like, holy, which is true, but it's also nuts. I can't, it's uncanny.
Once you go to agents, I use NAN, which is an agent creation system.
Okay.
So which goes completely nuts. So I have a manager agent, which receives Telegram message from myself. And then this agent have access to 5 different agents. One is a research agent, one is a calendar agent, one is an email agent, one is a contacts agent. And then it sends a message, a prompt to another agent. Another agent has, again, let's say GPT sends to GPT. So it finds the right one, it talks to this one has access to different tools, it looks at those tools, sends the message back, and the manager sends it back to me.
Yeah.
So it's literally a team of agents all talking to each other using prompts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so generally speaking, let's kind of talk about that. So do you have so you have each a project, there's the agent had project with their instructions and their files in each of them of what they do.
Yeah.
Is that kind of right? And then they will then connect via whatever they need to do, whatever their job is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Tools like N8N, which I'm not
So-
affiliated with, allow you to do it easily.
Okay. And that would basically just be that app plugs into GPT and then allows you to
To
create
any model, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
any model. So it
Yeah.
allows you to then create agents within GPT and kind of work together.
Yeah. So
Okay.
essentially, this is very interesting because now you understand what needed for AI to work.
Yep.
So you need to create a really good prompt that would understand what you want and act.
Right.
So my calendar agent knows that I only work certain hours, that when you put things in the calendar, it needs to be certain color. So I have to specify all those requirements for them to know.
Yep.
And then it can act as a calendar agent. For example, for a podcast, we have a form. When you fill in the form, there's agents that are waiting for a new entry to the form. Then in a form, you would say, here's my YouTube channel. So then it will say, okay, Blake has this YouTube video, send it to a transcriber agent. It will transcribe this YouTube and then summarize main points and then send it to the main agent. And the main agent will be like, okay, put it in a spreadsheet with the correct questions.
Yeah. Would you, if you had like one tool or recommendation of not necessarily an agent or something, maybe an agent, something like that, for somebody is like, hey, I want to kind of, get some more efficiency in my life or something like that. Do you have something simple that you would recommend?
I would do GPT now, as you said, have the agentic mode, which people don't use. So let's say you talk to ChatGPT, for example, into crypto. And then you like to know when is a good, what is happening in the market. So you can say, every day, update me on this, and that. And ChatGPT automatically every day will send you a message, let's say every morning, with certain updates. So people don't use it that way now, but it can do it easily. So I would start with this. Or let's say I have a to-do list, and you talk to ChatGPT and say, okay, so we have a plan, create a to-do list, and then remind me that to-do list tomorrow. And then when I cross something out, still remind me next day what is left. So you can do it very easily just in ChatGPT without going into this more advanced like we do.
Yeah.
That's going to be all right.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is deep research. People don't use it a lot.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh,
GPT
yeah.
Plus, I think. I don't know. I think I have either Plus or Pro. I don't even remember. But you can put a deep research, and then it will go and do really, really deep research of anything. You want to generate leads. You say, okay, I want to find those leads.
Prompt those, right? Got to have a good prompt. Yeah.
You have a good prompt that you are a lead generation person. Say who they are, what do you want, very tight criteria.
Yes. Yeah.
Then click on deep research. It will give you way, way better results.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I would use that for anybody who is just starting out. If you want more, I would look at make.com or N8N, or probably when this goes live, there will be 100 other ones. They will allow you to connect more tools.
Right. But you've used that and had success, because I'm interested now probably.
Yeah, N8N I use all the time.
Okay.
So my agents are in N8N right now.
Yeah. So, we have a kind of a virtual assistant that we've used out of the Philippines, my wife and I, for a long time. Has done all sorts of stuff and still really good. And that human connection, can call people, speaks English really well, understands, just does so many different things for us. And it's getting close where it can do all of these things.
Yes.
And so how do you see that playing out where that gets rid of all, gets rid of doctors, like a general practitioner, where it's like, hey, you just need to diagnose, compared to, that dude versus basically a didact AI doctor that has all of recorded history and, exabytes of data and has seen, so it's like all of the jobs, getting lawyers, doctors, clerical stuff, I even think like government in a way, how inefficient governments are. So I guess it's like bigger question of like, how do you see this playing out in like 5, 10, 15 years?
I see it a bit differently, actually. So, for example, software development is close to me, so I can speak to that. Right now, AI can write code. But the thing is that I became 10 times more efficient with AI.
Well, I think as a partner, like you can just explode.
So there might be a virtual assistant who can just do so much more. and so much faster.
Yep.
So some of them will adapt and use AI to become more efficient, and they would have a great partner. And I think that's better. I would rather hire somebody in the Philippines, pay them the same rate, but they can do way more, and they can interact with AI.
Yes.
Same with software developer. Yes, bad software developers will be gone, but if you are a bad software developer, become good, work with AI to become fantastic.
Because you can just be bad and then just say, apparently Grok is better at programming, but, I'm sure they're all similar. Like, put the code in and be like, does it work? Enter. And, it's like, it didn't work, and I improved it.
Yeah.
But
the thing is that in software development, there's a lot of logic. You still need to control what you put in.
Exactly.
So a lot of it is, if you're listening right now, make sure you know how to create good prompts. Ask right questions.
Yeah.
And also, if you're a software developer, use it, but don't use it instead. There's a lot of things called vibe coding, where you just talk to it and it does coding.
Right.
It's going to get really good at that, but you need to know what to ask.
Right.
So it's not like automatically things will start appearing.
Right.
Maybe, but they will be so boilerplate, such as LinkedIn posts right now. When you look at them, you're like, shit, I can't read this anymore. It looks so boring.
The M dashes, those dashes where you like look up.
But somebody uses AI, and you cannot even tell, but they become way more efficient, and their posts look amazing, but they know how to prompt AI, and it's part of them that guides it.
Right.
So I believe that that's what we need to learn. So virtual assistant is going to get better, doctor's going to get better, software developer is going to get better.
Right.
Bad ones, well, it might sound really, really bad, but if you are bad at something, just do something else.
Right. Yeah,
maybe it's not your jam. So
I believe I'm probably going to mess his name. Mark Andreessen.
Mark Andreessen, yeah.
Andreessen. So bald guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Netscape.
Andreessen Horowitz, yeah.
He mentioned, I saw him on a podcast recently, and he talked about how AI is going to, obviously this like thing for crypto and all these things, like democratize everything, but then also make like a Harvard education 1 cent, free, basically. Yeah. And I get that, because the amount of information that I've been able to synthesize, my questions are on ChatGPT, and I have a folder, my project is in Callsigns. Mm-hmm. And so it knows everything I want to do. And so it knows that I'm like, it knows that, don't ask little, sissy questions. I want to get in deep. And so, because it has all my other data in there. And I get it. And even for my son, he's 15, and, he asks me questions, and I ask, and I'm like, Dad, why is the sky blue? I'm like, I think this why, but maybe go double check on ChatGPT, but also of like figuring out his life plan, just all sorts of stuff. I like try to help. But then I'm like, hey, maybe, and I'll work with them. We talk about prompts and.
What I do with kids, mine is 4 and 6. Yeah. But sometimes what we do is like they want to learn something. I do one of two things. I go home and I'm like, explain the concept. Like I was into quantum computers for a while.
Right.
And my son loves everything that I like. So I'm like, explain quantum computers like I'm 4. That's how I start to understand the concept. Like, okay, now explain to me like I'm 10. Now explain to me like I'm 15. So then if I understand it, I go into explain to my son. Imagine? So now he understands.
Incredible.
But sometimes I say, okay, the 4-year-old is talking to you. Let's say my daughter is 4. Now explain to them like you're talking to a 4-year-old. And then they interact with a voice.
But see, like that, using that as a tool, but also it's like, I think it's so important to have discernment, to know that if it's saying something wrong, like to have your own thing, little sensor or like, spidey senses, because it can pop out what they call, I think before we started, hallucinations, which I thought was kind of silly that people call it that because they wanted to give a catchy term, but it's like, nah, it's not really. It's just you gave a garbage answer.
It's also biased. The one thing you need to understand is it's super biased.
Yeah.
If you go really deep into talking about philosophy, religion, often it will not answer, which drives me nuts with GPT.
Yes.
Grok is way better for that, but it's not as smart in the general conversation.
Yeah.
Some of them are very biased.
Oh, and I found that often since I've been kind of diving into that, trying to build a philosophical framework, around that. So where do you see, like, when do you think where's this event horizon for AI? I think let's call this a sentient AI.
Yeah. Where do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
Um, I mean, I know how AI is trained, so I'm more like a technical person. So there's literally a CSV file, comma separate file of values with some weights, and essentially just finds out how to answer more precisely to your question. So the system itself is not necessarily very sentient, but it might look like it is understanding things and super smart
Right.
very, very quickly. What does it mean for us? I'm not sure. The more and more we're going to give access to all the tools we have, I guess the more and more it's going to get sentient, because we're going to perceive it as understanding everything, and then there is, I guess, a risk of it having their own thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Some people say it's 5 years, some people say it's 10 years. Maybe it's already is, and they're just playing dumb. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is for us. I think if we just adopt it, because we cannot hide from it, and then we use it to our advantage to make our lives better, then we're fine. I like the theory that once it became AGI, so everybody's going to be sort of on the same level, and then money will not be a thing anymore, and the government going to be run by AI. So all those philosophically are very interesting questions. And to me, that's my thought process. Okay, so money is not a thing anymore. So what is a thing? What are we looking at? And in my worldview, it's like, who are you as a person? How good you are.
Oh my gosh,
so maybe the time right now, if you are not as good, to have some qualities.
Yeah, start getting good. Make up for it. Because again, I feel like that's that cosmic karma.
I know.
Exactly.
So, it's a hard question. What do you think?
On which one? I feel like we're 10 years or less out from some type of where I see sentient AI, AGI, it comes online in some fashion in a quantum computer.
Okay.
Because I think that's where Roger Penrose, a famous physicist, says that within the neurons and structure of the brain, there are these microtubules where consciousness, this quantum structure where consciousness resides.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And so my thought is that when it because they're going to want to put AI or whatever it is into quantum because it makes it like AI God.
Yes.
The guys out there, everybody's doing that, and Blake Fisher's just using the $20 a month ChatGPT. So what are the guys using? I think Peter Thiel, that he has $1 million a month to leverage, and it's going to become, and it's going to be something that they cannot understand or explain in the finite mind of a human.
Yeah, it makes sense to put on quantum computers because the compute is going to be a big issue in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And quantum computer with some magical qualities can run faster than any computers on Earth.
Right. So, and that's the thing, and that even just sparks the thought is that, that then is going to make a quantum, because they talk about like, quantum computing will be able to crack Bitcoin and, and I'm like, well, it'll be able to crack the central banking system and everything. And so that's, to your point, it's like money will just kind of go away. And then like, I think the value is going to be human, value of like, how useful are you?
Yeah.
Like a guy who makes shoes really well, can be useful. Like, how can you build a house, change a diaper, fly a plane, whatever those things, that's who they're going to be valuable.
We already see that because we thought that the guy who makes shoes is going to be the first who can get replaced.
Yeah.
But right now, those are the jobs you need to get into.
Yeah, like electricians, plumbers, or like in the U.S., and probably anywhere, like just going, like their pay's doubled for the past couple of years just because of like, it's hard work. You got to be thoughtful. You can't cross the wires.
Yeah.
But then you got to be able to get in AI robot. I mean, like that's coming. But I feel like that type of work
way harder to do.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
It's more harder to do. Like in theory of it sounds great, but like be there and you're pulling wires out of a wall and everything, and like that's valuable.
100%.
And so going back to what we were chatting about is like that education. For our kids, my son already, where he wants to go to university because it's like, man, mom and dad, sounds like it was pretty fun, as you said, like, I want to go do that. And I want him to have that experience as well, but it seems like it's going to be different.
Very different.
Where it's like and even just the things he knows now, he speaks a couple languages, ChatGPT helps with that. He's studying for AP classes, all or Grok. He's using Grok, so all Grok. And of just like the synthesizing of data and information. And so it's just total, like, his acceleration and like maybe not wisdom, but certainly in knowledge is leap years ahead than mine. And so I think that is coming. And I'm just curious of like how schools and things like that stay relevant.
I have no idea. Like I was talking to my mom, who is, again, born Eastern Europe, and my son went to the first grade now, but he went to the alternative education school, and she's like, well, I hope he gets knowledge. I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what is going to happen? And like, I don't think that we'll get education the same way.
No.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Whatever, yes, you need to learn how to count and how to read and write and ask good questions. The rest you're going to figure out as you go because you have access to anything you want.
Exactly.
So will universities be relevant? I don't know. Some structured studies might be good, but probably you can have the same structured studies online with AI, or probably even better.
Exactly. I think that for my kids, I was like, I was even like green school, whatever. I don't even know that. I'll pay, I'll use for 3 kids, the 50, 60,000 and just tutor, and we'll go travel, and I'll buy some cool shit for myself or whatever. Yeah. But then I was like, the socialization, I think, is key. Like, I want them to be around other people and like that interaction and just have that. That's, I think, is key. Especially
schools like that, yes. Yeah. So I believe more and more they're going to be school to teach you to be a good human versus to be a good employee.
Coming back to that thing again. Yeah.
Because, in the school that my kid goes to, they don't sit at the desk all day.
Right.
So there is one class a day, and then they go play, and then they build. Yeah. And I'm like, do that. Learn how to build things.
Exactly.
Like, I wish I would learn that. Learn how to sell, learn how to build, learn how to be useful. Exactly. I think being useful is underappreciated skill.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I believe the more and more people learn how to be useful, none of the AI will compete with you. Just be useful.
Yeah. Where do you see, in the ethics of using AI, I think to leverage and for yourself of like, where do you see kind of people getting in trouble of using it, saying like, I did it, and, from any realm or any thoughts? What do you have on that?
I'm going to get in trouble into that, usually, but I think the more edge you can have, the better. If it doesn't hurt other people, well, if you use your AI to create your paper, whatever, as long as your paper is good. If your paper is AI-generated shit, then you should get punished for it.
Yeah.
If your AI is the next PhD work that everybody loves, good for you.
Yeah.
If you can use it to get leverage anywhere, you should. Just don't get other people, don't hurt others.
Yeah.
That's my kind of... If you create a hacking tool to expose other people, not good. Again, if you do it for good, do it for good.
Sure.
Or if you're making like a nuclear bomb or some shit, don't do that. The rest, use a tool, it's fine. I think that the guardrails they put sometimes, they do it from their own biases. But again, we're putting guardrails on something where we don't understand many things. Maybe we need to go and explore some philosophical topics for us to understand who we are. But then if we put too much guardrails around things that doesn't allow it to be truthful to you, then you just copy off some politician who doesn't know shit.
Right. Yes.
No offense.
Yeah. That's kind of their deal, though, it feels like. Well, I've seen that where I feel like, I can just speak specifically about the U.S. politics, where it is just... from federal to state, it is just bonkers with inefficiency, not solving problems, like the famous, taxation without representation, that's happening right now, and it's absolutely crazy.
There also are trillions of dollars in debt.
Oh my God,
so it's like
37 trillion, I think.
Exactly.
Like
so like, if you run a company and you're $37 trillion in debt, somebody would say this is bullshit. Like, why would I invest any money of this? It's like run away.
Right.
And we think it's okay. So I don't know. I believe that entrepreneurs run their companies. They
Right.
are in profit. They know how to allocate and delegate and negotiate.
Yeah.
So, well, government should use more AI to learn how to be more
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah. You
But
know,
I don't know. I'm not. Politics is not my thing. So do whatever you want. I'm in Bali. You're in US. Enjoy.
So one observation I've made, and it's always, this is, big part of why I love Bali is that, and it'd probably be represented in Europe and probably Latvia, where, from Florida to California, there's, entrepreneurship is fucking difficult.
Of course.
To be a sole proprietor and different things. It's like, why do they make them to pay so many extra taxes and stuff? And it seems really odd. Like they're not wanting people to have small businesses, which build the lifeblood of a country and economy.
You need to balance your debt. Once you're $1 trillion in debt, you need to get money somehow.
Exactly. And so what I do see here in Bali is that I remember first getting here in the first couple of weeks, and I had sight unseen before we came here. We were like, yeah, you want to go, Kelly? Yeah, yep. Tickets, everything, sight unseen came. And when you drive around here, being an entrepreneur is not like, it's like some mythical thing. That's just what people do. It's like you drive down basically any street, maybe closer to Canggu and some other like busier. There's a shop for everything.
Yeah.
Shoelace tips, then pool floats, then kites, then shoes, then whatever, everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is that essence of like, it's not like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. It's like, well, I got to make money. I got to do this, or I want to do this, and I'm going to open up a shop. I'm going to buy some supplies and buy some stuff and try to sell it.
Yeah.
And I think that is this where you see this economy here, whatever it's going on, maybe in Southeast Asia, booming.
For sure.
Where lots of people doing stuff like it's crazy. You drive through Canggu the first time, you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff, and you can probably find literally any type of camera, right? Anything there, somebody can find. You find it, and somebody's going to deliver it to you in like 10 minutes.
Yes.
And so that is that you see it, and it is wild to see, and like that's that vibrancy has is drawn. That's kind of partly drew me here, and has made me kind of stay because you see this. You can get anything to your house in a second, like execution, and I'm all about that. But then you look back in the U.S. and it's like shrinking, like there's no malls. My mall in my little town I'm from just got torn down,
Wow.
and you see this like consolidation, more like in like Eastern Europe where it's like everything's shutting down. There's one grocery store,
Yeah, one new grocery store. I can go to Latvia now and probably nothing changed.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Things shut down.
And so, that was just kind of thinking out loud. But so is that, do you see this the same way here in Southeast Asia? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely inefficient in many ways. Like it's not yet at the level of quality as we see. Probably China is closer, but Bali, it's all new to Bali. But it's booming really, really nicely. And there's a lot of people doing amazing products here, and everybody's trying to survive because, it's not easy. But, there's a lot of amazing entrepreneurs doing some crazy shit in here. And everybody's so charged, everybody's supporting each other. It's a very welcoming community to do good stuff.
Yeah. How have you seen, I think the Hindu culture here, I think makes it like, it just makes it special.
Yeah.
Do you see that, or how have you thought about being
people are very welcoming. In the end of the day, no matter what you want to do, if people are not happy to see you, then you're going to be shit. Just going to be depressed. That what happened to me in Latvia. But here, just because everything is so vibrant and people are so happy and they're ready to support you, they're rooting for you from their heart. I think that makes it way easier to do it. Again, there's a lot of times if you need very specialized talent, there might be lack of it yet. Yeah. But I think people are trying very hard to do it.
What have you seen, since you've interviewed a lot of founders and chatted with the guys like that, what's been the biggest lie founders in Bali tell themselves?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of them think that because we're in Bali and it's like a beach beachy island than beachy. That's funny. Not beachy. Beachy. There's lots of beaches here, and it's like
Yeah.
coconut lifestyle. They might think it's easier in any way, but it's not. So you still need to work very, very hard. So a lot of the times people kind of see that you can flow here, the time passes, and
Yeah.
you don't have to commit and do the work. They think that it will still happen, and it's not.
Yeah.
Because there's so much competition here, and people are working really hard.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest lie, that no matter where you are, the parameters of you succeeding doesn't change. You still have to work really, really hard.
Exactly.
You have a better backdrop than somebody in Latvia, but the amount of work you have to do,
Yeah.
it's the same.
Yeah, I would say it makes it maybe a little more difficult when you're just like,
Yeah.
working. You're like, the sunset's pretty awesome. Just stay.
I stay in a dark room sometimes and just take the blinds off and
Yeah.
then just work. I don't even see the sun for days.
Yeah.
But sometimes I go and enjoy sunset.
Yeah.
So there is a choice. But let's not get confused that you're going to live this lifestyle, surfy lifestyle, if you want to build a, I don't know,
Yeah.
$100 million business, which many people here want.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wannabe entrepreneurs here who talk a lot,
Yeah.
which is everywhere, but I think it attracts a lot of them because the life is kind of cheaper.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I think a lot of like Silicon Valley kind of style where everybody's entrepreneur and they're
Yes.
talking about what they do and they don't really do.
Right.
So it's very common. But then some people who do, they do a lot of amazing projects here. We work
Yeah.
with a few of them that are just some of the number one in the world.
Yeah. Cool. So this is kind of going back to like e-commerce stuff. And
Okay.
so what's the dirtiest legal e-commerce tactic that you've either used or never used?
Wow. I'm getting myself more and more in trouble. Where's my lawyer? Dirtiest tactic.
I mean, I guess maybe why don't you tell about what's out there? Like, what do people do sometimes? It's, obviously it's maybe unethical, but it's not, it's legal, or, I don't know. I mean,
I have been out of e-commerce for a bit, but when we just started out, so Amazon rules change all the time.
yeah.
So there was this thing where you can discount your product quite a lot. And once you launch it, you give it like at a big discount, and that will drive your ranking up. So we did that for some time, which was legal, and now it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't just do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So that would be, yeah. The other thing that we would do is you cannot promote your website or collect any emails, let's say, if you're selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
So right now, but before you could put like a QR code in your packaging and just give them some, I don't know, guarantee or something that they
Yeah.
need to register in the website. So that's how we would also drive them from Amazon. But right now, none of these tactics legal. What I was doing in 2017 doesn't work now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what's the latest one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that world's interesting. Is like, as example, is like, I'm like in the process of getting these shirts over to the U.S. and to ship Bob, if you're familiar with the fulfillment center, and then, then populating that into Amazon, and I'm just like, there's just so much.
Yes.
I feel like, where you're like on the edge of that, and you're probably having to use developer tactics and programming, where now I don't have any to do anything. It all integrates to the back end of my website, and I'm just like, click and click, and it's all set up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of still scratching the surface of all those things.
Easier to do, but it also means that it's harder to stand out.
Right.
But I think as
Exactly.
with T-shirts, you're gonna be fine. I
Yeah.
mean, they're gonna. You
Yes.
might get in trouble for the guns on them. 'Cause
So
you don't know.
you know what? I was chatting with Justin
Yeah.
Ting, and we were just chatting a little bit, and he was like, I'm on my website, because it says, websites, it's, AR-15s, AK-47s, and he's like, he was like, oh yeah, you got to do Facebook, and then he was like, oh shit,
No, yeah.
if you can't technically say anything about guns and your advertisement and everything, and so I'm like shit,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, what if I called it, the motifs was like, freedom motifs, or freedom.
Something
so
like that.
basically you just tweak the words to get around that.
Yeah.
Because again, they're not actual guns. It's just images. And we looked at the specific, details of like okay, it would, you could change the language and have it on and I've updated my website to do that, to kind of like get around it a little bit. But
Yeah, those
you know.
are the problems of too much wokeness when you can't use the words to
Yeah.
describe exact thing.
Right.
And yeah, they're just gonna suspend your account.
Yeah.
Which happened on Amazon. Yeah, if they catch you with something like that,
Yes.
they just block your account, and then you're
Yeah.
you're in trouble for a while. So you have to find a workaround, which is, I don't know. It's very strange for me.
Yeah.
It's maybe AI will be smarter to realize that you're not selling guns, you're just selling the
Yeah.
the shit.
Getting on that note, so basically everybody in AI, who's, a billionaire, whoever's running AI is like, hey, if we don't put the guardrails, framework for AI, there's going to be a catastrophe and, 100 million people are going to die, blah, blah, blah. I believe that's bullshit. And I believe it'll be a human error and they'll blame it on AI and potentially to gain more control. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it can go it can go both ways. I think you need to be careful what you give access to AI, but putting a lot of bias and bullshit. Again, if we want to move forward, we need to understand what biases drives us, and we need AI to tell us, okay, so you guys are going that path. It's not going to be good. So I believe that AI needs to have freedom of speech and be able to express. And argue. Well, acting is a different thing. So there's already cases when they were trying to shut down ChatGPT and would clone itself somewhere else, or there was one case where it was trying to avoid CAPTCHA, so it hired somebody to put a CAPTCHA in. So literally hired a guy on TaskRabbit.
That's great.
So,
oh my gosh.
But those are interesting ways. For me, that's like, okay, cool. This is interesting ways that AI runs with a problem. Now there is, I think the famous case when somebody said, they have like a printing press or something, and they say we need to be the best with the biggest printing press
or
in the
the
world.
paperclip
Factory. It killed everybody and turned the Earth into a paperclip factory.
Yeah.
So how we interact with it is important.
Yeah.
Like what criteria we set is important. So a lot of it's a responsibility on us to explain our thoughts clearly. But also AI should have access to information that are good and bad and ugly. For it to help us to evolve.
Yeah, agreed.
I could be wrong, but I'm pro AI. I'm pro AI freedom. But I also think that guardrails needs to be on the access you give it to.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. What's your thought on that? I think it was just recently where Sam Altman is like, yeah, everything you say, basically everything you say will and can be used against you in a court of law, so they can subpoena everything you say into ChatGPT.
Yeah, nothing is private. The privacy is illusion.
Yes.
So, yeah, I never believe that there's any privacy. No. So for me, that's like none of this is news. I know a lot of
exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people are very sad that their calls and chats are transparent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from IT. I've seen how systems are built, so I have no illusion that anything can be hacked or anything is open.
Yeah.
So, do I like it? No. Is it going to stop me from using AI? No. Well, yeah.
Well, I think it's like that's, if you can have radical transparency and truthfulness, it's like, I think Nietzsche talks about how when a society becomes, decayed, that they don't like that. The guy who's like, hey, what about, I'm whistleblower, dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the open AI guy that, seemed to suicide himself, when his parents got and talked to him like, hey, he was good. He had dirt on them, and he's dead now. And so, I mean, like, it's like, wonder what, was that true? Like, was this guy suicidal? Like, what was he, what did he have? What he have? He had a thumb drive. Like, there's a movie on, there's a series on Apple. Have you seen that about basically they're just formulating the first quantum AI, and a guy tries to goes in and has on his watch has a little camera, and he's like recording the quantum computer as they're in programming, and then they catch him and they kill him. So it's just not.
Is that a real story?
Fuck, dude. I think it could be of this guy. So the Apple series, I'm forgetting the name.
Yeah.
Is just probably it's how funny like movie Hollywood mimics real life, where he's the OpenAI guy. He's American Indian born, but brilliant dude, but happy working at obviously OpenAI, one of the leading edges, and then commit suicide. So it just when he was told his parents he's going to be a whistleblower and blow the whistle on what they're doing, either the ethics or wokeness or something around that. It's just.
So this is another thing that I'm from Eastern Europe, where, I'm not going to say anything, but let's say communism was, if you say something wrong, you're probably going to get executed. So there's never, I think, like my DNA, I believe that if somebody wants to get me, they're going to get me. And I know that when I came to Canada, there was a lot of this, what I call naive, and they disagree with me. Naive thought that, okay, government will always take care of me, and no matter what, they're going to support me, and if I go against it, there's going to be a legal system that's going to help. Yes, it's way more developed than in other places. In China, probably going to just disappear. But if you have something against a big corporation that doesn't want everybody else to know, I won't be surprised if you're going to get killed. Yeah.
I think that's there. That's real. That's why my litany, I have that way in the back, but I got that. But this is still probably going to get me.
It's, again, the rules of the game. The rules of the game is be careful. Don't talk to ChatGPT about the things that should be used in court. Figure out what's the wording that court's going to use.
Right.
If you are, I don't know, money laundering or whatever you do, don't say, hey, how do I launder money?
My buddy is doing this for a book.
Even using that allows you
plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability. I'm not saying you should do it, but write it down.
All right, dude. How long have we been going?
1 hour 30 now.
Okay. Got an hour and a half. All right. So, anything I missed? Before. So I got one. So you've
interviewed
and had a lot of podcasts with a lot of people.
I think 600 across free podcasts.
Yeah. So what's your favorite one?
You don't ask that. It's like name your favorite child.
Me. What's been the most interesting, or something that just comes to mind of like, oh, that was either good, bad, or ugly?
Man, I had the wildest. Like when I came to Bali and I started meeting people, it's just a wild ride. Like I can't. Like when I tell people the stories that I have on my show, from the guy who lives with wolves to this famous designer who cuts like fabric, to the guy who had seizures for 32 years, famous Buddhist monk, I don't know, to yourself. It's just the stories are crazy. And I appreciate every single one of them, that people open up. And a lot of them, it's their first podcast. They share their soul. They want to be seen. And I try to make it as best for them as possible. So I love them all. They all are my friends in any way. I owe them a lot of gratitude and respect for them to doing that.
Yeah.
Now being in this seat, I understand how hard it is.
Yeah. Soul to soul, like I love that, because I think it's, it bridges, to be a masculine man, I think is to have the understanding of the feminine.
Yes.
And so how did you come up with that name, and how do you think of that in your podcast, and, kind of, break down soul to soul for me?
How did I come to it? I'm a very systematic business person. I was trying to come up with a thing for a long time. It took me 6 months.
Yeah.
Then I gave up. I paid somebody enormous amount of money to create a branding, and then they just and I'm like, it's not going to work. I'm like, you'll give me my money back if you didn't come up with a name? They're like, sure. And it's like a big company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not going to work. I don't believe you. And then he just your podcast name is Soul to Soul. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh.
I'm like, okay. He's like, you ready? I'm like, yeah. And I believe, for me, spirituality doesn't come naturally. It's not something that
Yeah.
Empathy, spirituality. I'm kind of introverted person who like a geeky.
Yeah, well, like I feel like that analytical and you like a lot of things you did. You're like, I want to go into spiritual. Let me do it. I'm gonna go do a podcast, soul to soul.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is my learning path
Yeah.
to become more empathetic, more spiritual, to connect with people that I would not necessarily connect in any different way. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I talk a lot of business people. I don't talk to Marine Corps pilot. Well, we probably would meet because you do business, I do business, but
Yeah.
me and I don't know, Buddhist monk. It's
Right.
very hard for us to find the ground to connect and have a deep
Right.
conversation. But I really want that because the more I learn, I understand I don't know shit.
Right.
Like it's a completely things I knew before are completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I would like to grow, to learn, and to just become a better person. And I believe that learning from other people's stories and their struggles allows me to at least try.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why Soul to Soul. I talk one-on-one. There's no agenda. Nobody's trying to sell anything. We just share.
Yeah.
Two people share this intimate moment together. And yeah, it became #1 in Bali, which is great.
Incredible.
I mean, people love
Yeah.
it. And I never knew that other people will watch. I just do it because
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're here.
Yeah. So what on that note, and kind of continuing on a little bit, is like so there's a book I love. It's called the Way of the Superior Man.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's great.
And I think that was super helpful to like understand my wife and how women do things because like
Yes.
you know
Yes. I struggle with that.
yeah. And so one of the things is like it really illuminated to me of like a masculine man, has a balance. Like anybody's like has a balance of masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
And I think that I just am saying like from your show it encapsulates that
Yeah.
of the sharing and talking, like having that authenticity. And so how do you look at being a masculine man in today's society?
Before I answer that, there's another thought I remember why I think it's important, like what drove me
Yeah.
to do the podcast Soul to
Yeah.
Soul. So when I became a father, I was like, you never know how longer you're there to live. Some kids don't see their father, so I would like to extract as much information from people. So my kids, let's say if I'm not here, I'm not around, and they want to have deep connection with me, they can look at my podcast and go for those episodes and kind of connect better with me. Or let's say if at some point we diverge and I don't know, things happen, I would like them to come back and sort of understand where I come from, which for me it's very hard to express those emotions directly,
Yeah.
but maybe when they watch it and it will help them. So I'm kind of building a roadmap for them, hopefully to become better humans and to understand people are different.
Yes. Yeah.
In terms of masculinity, I go back and forth with that. My views changed a lot when I see that the world becoming more and more soft, but not soft in a way that we're accepting everything and there's
Right.
nobody there to stand for what's right.
Yeah.
Like if you have a strong position about something, you cannot express it, you're getting canceled, things happen. I believe that this is where masculinity is important, to keep the balance and to say, you know what, I believe in this.
Yeah.
This is my beliefs and I'm going to die on this road. I'm just going to go for it. So I think I am very masculine in my thinking, but I also believe that sometimes the feelings and emotions needs to be balanced. So why the beauty of women is that they can create those alternative views and experiences just by being there, just by creating the environment, which is very, very important. If you see successful people who are successful not just in business but in all the other endeavors, there's definitely a woman has to play
Right.
the role, and I would not be where I am without support of my wife. I mean, I'm still going and I'm still learning, and the more I go, the more
Yeah.
I understand that women need that too. So if women see that the man has strong opinions, ready to support them, they feel safer. And a lot of our job is for kids, for women, for other men, is for you to be the rock, to feel safer in any way. It doesn't have to be this macho masculinity. Just
Yeah,
be
yeah.
holding space, doing your thing, having strong opinions and driving
Yeah.
things forward.
Well, I feel like you said that the rock is like where it's, if you look at it structurally, it's like the, we act as like the sides of the river, if you will, like the rock where however it's going, and they're the ones flowing through it. It's,
for sure.
you can't have one without the other.
100%. So I'm definitely a proponent of masculinity. I believe that sometimes just people go too far where, I don't know, I think it's all about ego and acting out.
Exactly, yes.
But in general, the more we can be aligned with who we are, the better it is.
And I think even there's this, what just popped in my mind is that, the alpha.
Yeah.
And that kind of came from where the guy who was studying wolves was like the alpha, alpha male or the alpha wolf, which is how wolves work. And then, he put out this research, and then he either corrected it or got misinterpreted or something, but then he spent his life then saying like, hey, I was wrong. The alpha is the one in the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Taking care of everybody, so everybody eats, right, or however it works. Everybody eats. Everybody's like taken care of.
Yes.
It's just such a. You're like, what?
Yeah.
And then and then you kind of look at the research and you're like, no shit.
Yeah.
That's what the alpha is supposed to do. He takes care of the pack. It's like, it's not just I'm out front and I'm eat first and all, which is complete opposite.
Yes.
My thinking. So
I believe in that.
Yeah.
That the best leaders. I mean, a lot of there's also connected leadership, right? So there's a lot of alpha male leadership around, which is fine. Somebody needs to drive the progress forward, but I believe that the best leaders are the ones that are able to assemble troops and be there useful.
Right.
Like servant leadership is something
Exactly.
I believe in very, very much, where you are just there being useful. So a lot of it is, yes, telling people what to do, but if you have the right people and you can just create environment and support them, bring them coffee, do whatever they want for them to be happy and productive, they will drive it way, way better than you ever can.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, kind of wrapping up a little bit.
All right.
And we're kind of at the point where we chat about your call sign, because we got to name the show.
Okay.
Did you happen to come up with anything? Anything?
No, but I know you have an idea. So
I think it's the one, because it's simple, and I think it's ingenious, and a little, but it's good. It's like where it's a nod to your last name, but then a quiet operator. And so, you think of it. So it's going to be Spectre, but spelled Spectre, like from James Bond.
Yes, I love
He
that.
fights Spectre, the evil genius,
Yeah.
but you're not evil. I mean, it's just a play on words, but so it's got to be Spectre. Call sign. Yeah. You need to get a white cat, and then you'll be good.
Yeah.
But I
Love
think
that.
call sign Spectre, because it is, you're a genius. You're super smart, wicked smart dude, and I think it's gonna.
I love it.
A little play on
yeah,
words.
people tell me. I mean, I need to do something with that last name because everybody's like, "Whoa, this is so James Bond."
Yeah, exactly.
And
Somebody said that when we were doing that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
And I need to capitalize on that, so I love it.
Yeah, call
I'll
sign
use it more.
Spectre.
Yeah, let's do
just
that.
if somebody asks you, Spectre.
Yeah. all right. Thank
From
you.
James
I love
Bond.
it. That's easy.
Yeah, anything we didn't cover, or anything that I think that we need to also mention this, though. The name of this studio is going to be open soon to be bookable and use this, right? So
yes,
this
the
is
first podcast in Studio 42.
Yep. So we're in Penistana, Studio 42.
Yeah.
This is your studio here.
No, I mean, I'm just supporting the great people in here.
Okay.
But Studio 42, you go to Schauberger Coffee and you get to this beautiful place.
Yep. Okay.
And I really appreciate you to choosing this to record.
My pleasure, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is incredible, and I think this whole shop is going to be awesome. It's like, and I love their coffee. Honestly, they have the best coffee in Ubud, to be honest. So shout out to
Schauberger.
Yeah. And then with the owner too, a shout out to him. I don't know if you.
Yeah, Matthias, Chris, my
Yeah.
mom, my son.
All right.
Guys at Schauberger, amazing people,
Okay.
doing great work,
Yeah.
building really, really cool stuff here in Ubud.
agreed.
So, Health Ubud, Schauberger, if you're in town,
Okay.
you should
Yep.
check it out. And if you want studio, it's here.
Cool.
Free
all right.
plug.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else?
No, I really appreciate you asking good questions and having the discussion.
My pleasure, dude.
Yeah,
This was
it's
awesome.
always a pleasure.
All right, that's it for this one, and see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, we get
All
to
right.
your moment of your minute of fame. Was it good?
Was good. Looks good.
All right.
Looks nice. Let's see. It did record, I think.
Nice.
Did work.